So hey guys, today I'm going to be filming a video and it's going to be about books. So if you're not interested in books and you just like makeup or like outfits and stuff, then you probably shouldn't watch this video. But if you are interested in books, then you should definitely keep watching. So I want to start making more book videos. I think every single book video I say that I want to make more book videos, but I'm serious this time, okay? In this video, I am just going to be letting you guys know the books that I have read the past few months that it's been 2014. And then I'm gonna let you know the books that I picked up recently that I'm going to read. I have the list of books that I read already on my phone, so let me just get that. So the first one was Stop If You've Heard This One Before, but it was basically about a guy who is a little bit awkward. I say a little bit, but he was very awkward, and he basically falls in love with this girl, but it's really good. It's a really good kind of, I guess it's kind of a coming of age story. I don't know if I would read it again, to be honest. I feel like it's one of those books that you would just read once. It kind of was John Greeny. It kind of gave me that vibe a little bit. The next one was Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesia. It's about a girl who gets amnesia and basically about, you know, the people around her in her life. Basically her relearning her life because she forgets everything. She remembers up until like the 7th grade. So everything after that, and she's like 16 or something. So everything after that she doesn't remember. It's really interesting. And there's like a plot twist at the end. I have this thing where I don't like female leads in books most of the time. One was What Is Left of Me, which is actually a series. It's the series of The Hybrid. Basically, it is in a world where there are people who have two souls. But it's basically about people who have two souls. At first when I read like the little excerpt or whatever, what it's about, I thought that it was about like a Siamese twin or like a schizophrenic person or something, but basically everybody is born with two souls. Once they get to a certain age, they settle and one of their souls basically disappears. But this is basically about a girl who is divergent and no, I'm just kidding. She's not divergent. Just kind of what goes on when that happens. And it is a little bit confusing at first because it's from the perspective of both girls. It's basically like reading about two different people. It's like reading a book about twins. It's a little bit confusing because it's a lot at the same time, but it's a really good book. I am definitely going to read the rest of the series because it was a cliffhanger, hanging on a cliff, and that's why he's called Cliffhanger. So yeah, that was a really good book, and it was kind of like futuristic a little bit, kind of. The next one was one that I really liked. It was called The Program, and I've actually been, I think I recommended like 2 people read it. So if I recommend that somebody reads a book, that means I probably really liked it. This would be the kind of book that I would like be obsessed with. It's about, basically suicide is an epidemic in this. It's kind of in the future, I guess, but suicide has become an epidemic. Teenagers are just committing suicide, so they've created this program. You kind of are reset, I guess, to where you don't remember the bad things about your life, I guess. And it is like a love story. There's a love story involved, obviously, because it's a teenage novel. It's interesting because you do go on the journey of, you're with someone who is around people who are committing suicide and then is contemplating it and then is in the program. I don't know, it's kind of morbid. It is kind of morbid. I mean, it's about suicide. So, trigger warning, I guess. If I'm just the type of person who I really like books like that. I either like really like historical fiction or things that are just weird. Probability of Miracles, which is about a girl who was dying of cancer. Essentially, that is what the book is about, and the probability of miracles. It's a really good book. It is a really good book. It's really interesting. There are just, sometimes there are some of those books that you really get to feel a person going through changes and realizing things. I love books so much, like I can talk about them. So those are the books that I've read so far, which is doing pretty good for me because last year I barely read it all. So this year I definitely wanted to read more because reading makes me happy. The Program is also a series. Did I say that? The next book is coming out, I think in April or something like that, so I definitely want to read that. And then What Is Left of Me is a series, and I definitely want to read that. So I got a like review on the books and what I thought about them. So I'm just gonna quickly go through the books that I have right here. People are always like, oh, that's a lot of books, so how are you gonna read all them? See, for me, it's all or nothing. If I start reading a book, I either like read barely anything at all, or I don't read at all, or I read within like 2 days. And reading really depends on my mood too. Certain books I can't read at certain times. So I'm just gonna start with a book that I actually started reading, but I had to stop because I wasn't in the mood to read it. This is The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzuki. It's actually an anime, which is one of the reasons why I got it, because I love anime and I saw it and I wanted to watch it, but I was like, let me read it. What do they call it? Light novel, I guess? And I read about halfway. Yes, I fold the pages of my books, I'm sorry. But what's cool is it actually has anime in the back, or manga. It's funny because it's anime in a book. So like the weirdness that happens in anime, it's in a book form. So it's even weirder. Like if you watch anime, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I haven't really been in the mood for this. I wanted something with a little bit more substance. It's supposed to be about a girl who can save the world, or she starts a brigade. I am going to read that, but I'm just not in the mood right now. I want something a little bit like that. So the book that I actually started, I only started like a few pages, but I'm planning on reading more tonight, and this is called Linked. This is by Imogen Housen, and this is about, I love this because, okay, normally when you have books, and I get my books from the library, by the way, I don't buy them, but this one is sideways, which is, I don't know, I thought it was really cool. But basically it is about a girl who is having visions, and turns out it is a girl who looks exactly like her. It's her life. She's seeing it through her eyes. So far, it's pretty interesting. Seems like it's like set in the future a little bit. Pretty excited to read this. This seems like something that is right up my alley, and one of the weird kind of books that I like to read. The next book is The Wells Bequest. This is a companion, didn't realize that, to The Grimm Legacy. And I actually read The Grimm Legacy. I really liked it. I love anything that's involving Brothers Grimm fairy tales. The series, The Sisters Grimm, or The Grimm Sisters? I think it's The Sisters Grimm. I love that series. A miniature time machine appears in this guy's bedroom. A tiny, beautiful girl is writing it. I'm excited to read this, and I'll let you guys know what I think of this. I may do this whole thing like once a month. Like I'll let you know what books I got and let you know what books I read and how I liked them and stuff. The next book that I got was Pivot Point. Presses his lips to mine, stopping not only my sentence but my breath in my throat. And her name is Addison. That's the main reason why I chose this book, because there's a close place in my heart with the name Addison. Basically, this girl can see the future. I guess she can go to the future and see how things are gonna turn out, and then she kind of has to make a decision on whether she wants to do that or if she wants to go to another path or something like that. I don't really know, but I am excited to read this because this seems interesting. I really like people with powers books. If you've ever read Magic or Madness, that is one of my favorite books of life. A Great and Terrible Beauty. Love it. Favorite. And the last book I got is called Tarnish. This is by Catherine Longshore, and it is basically about Anne Boleyn, King Henry, all of that. If you've ever heard about Anne Boleyn and the Boleyn sisters, and I'm really interested in that stuff for some reason. I read the other Boleyn Girl, and then I watched the movie. I didn't like it. I've been watching The Tudors, which is basically about Anne Boleyn and the Tudors, all of that. And I like reading different people's interpretations of the whole situation. So I figured I'd read the young adult version, which should be interesting because the whole situation isn't really young adult. So I will see you guys later. Let me know what you think of this video down below. If you guys would like to see more. If you have any recommendations of books you think I would like, also comment that down below. Yeah, I need to go to the bathroom. Okay. Bye.